And welcome to me stopping the music. Just talking games. It's a format I have done on stream for since 3 years ago, I think. We did a few episodes. None this year yet. It's the first time I'm getting around to it. And it's a stream where we talk about games. Obviously, right? It's in the title. And also, we're watching trailers and we're discussing our most wished for continuation of a series, or which DLC we can't wait for, and so on. And today we're gonna make it a three-piece. We're gonna talk about the PC Gamer Showcase that happened last weekend, about the Summer Game Festival that also happened last weekend, and we're gonna talk about what Steam Next Fest had in store for us over the last 5 days, which I have been streaming like a mad person, right? I'm a bit exhausted from that, to be honest. I did feature 51 demos in 5 days. It's a bit much. It was totally worth it though. It was totally worth it, and I hope you guys enjoyed that if you watched it. Sleepy, welcome in everybody. I think I'm actually also going to start with the Next Fest because it's still fresh on my mind, and there have been lots of interesting games in those. I think it was 1,200 demos roughly available, which I browsed through and picked out, I think 60, roughly 60. And I was able to stream 51 of those. A few I kicked out because they were maybe interesting but not presentable yet. Like very, very bare bones. The ones I showed were already in a more playable, more presentable state. Right? Sleepy, did you basically did you have a favorite of the Steam Next Fest demos? Did you play any, or did you watch streams where you saw a game demo that you want, a game that you want to have after seeing the demo? Was that a thing for you? Because I have quite a few. Oh, you're still stuck in Torchlight 2? Nice. Such a good game. Torchlight 2 is a good game. Are you enjoying that? Modded or unmodded? That's a good question. Also, Torchlight has not been replaced by another game of a similar making, right? It's one of those ARPGs that still has its own style to itself. There's barely anything else that's remotely similar. Are you trying different mods? Cool. Cool. Yeah, I had a look at let me have a look. Mod Drop. Are you using Mod Drop for the management? I can recommend that. It's really good. It works rather well for Torchlight and Torchlight 2 as well. See, that's Torchlight 2. Oh, apparently I'm not managing them in Torchlight 2 with Mod Drop. I'm using it for the first game. Okay, fair enough. The first Torchlight is still fun to play, by the way. If you are running on a laptop, or maybe you're on vacation or something and you don't have a gaming laptop as such and you want something nice to play, Torchlight 1 and 2, they run on most machines. And they're absolutely gorgeous. All right. I see. Yeah. Are you running Linux? Or are you on a Macintosh? People never say that word anymore. They always say Mac. All right, you're running Linux. You should be happy though, because more and more games are being made for Linux as well, right? Praise be the penguin. Nice. Yeah, cool. So, Steam Next Fest, right? I streamed so many demos, and it was kind of impossible to pick um, my favorites because there were just so many games. I think it was between 7 and 13 a day that I streamed, and there were always some really good ones in there. So if I'm gonna go by let's see if we can do this so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This should work if I do it like this. No, that's the wrong window. Ah, right, it always captures. There you go. That's the playlist of Next Fest that I was featuring, right? And on day 1 up here, we started with Escape Academy, .h, and so forth. Can you see it, or is it a bit too small? Can probably make it a bit bigger. There you go. So Escape Academy was good fun. I really liked it. It's probably going to be good for one playthrough. .h was far from ready. Fabular is gonna go on my wish list. Actually, that was the weird. I'm gonna show you the. Give me a sec. I'm gonna show you the highlight real quick, just so we have some gameplay that we can relate to. And I need a hotkey for the bookmarks bar. That's a thing. Valve is doing a bunch of work. Most is anti-cheat that does work. Oh, you're right. Okay. Yeah, multiplayer is also not a big topic for me. Right, I think I can go with the alphabetic sorting. So Fabular. That was a weird game, right? I'm just gonna see if we can capture it real quick. No, that's not the one I want to. That's my chat. Sometimes it takes a bit until it updates the available windows. That's the discovery. So I can't capture my own. No, that's weird. There you go. So that's me twice. That's freaky. Okay, I'm gonna move it here. So that was the Fabular game, right? I'm just gonna let it run in the background on mute. It had this weird art, and it combined it with a mix of top-down shooting and melee combat. While you were flying around in the ship, let's go fast forward there. You had this ship, and you had melee weapons that you would charge, and then there was parrying, timing that was important, and it was all set in this weird knights in shining armor in spaceships universe. And they were also lizards. So that was just brilliant. I thought it was a tad too silly at first, but it really played nice. Very tight controls, and the combat was actually very not button mashy or key spammy or anything like that. It was very, very tough and very tactical. So where you position your ship and how you react to your enemies' attacks was really important, right? So we we were testing out one ship that I think in the full game there will be like three or yeah, I think three different ships, sorry. And yeah, that was very promising. I actually put that on my wish list. That was good fun. And that's the first game where I thought, yeah, that I'm a sucker for top-down shooting in space. So that was a fresh thing. It does look a bit old schooly, yeah, right? The gameplay and also the graphics, and that works for how the game is made. And I found it very how do you say that? Satisfying to play. And the story was kind of wacky, silly, but not bad as such. And yeah, very decent game. Very decent game. Some games looked interesting, but nothing really popped out. It's hard, right? For the Next Fest, they are all indie games, and they usually cater either towards themselves because they are like more like art than a game for people, which is fair. I think it's okay that they exist in that form. I found some really good, or well, promising ones at least. But they were very specific genres. I mean, I leave out a lot of genres when I pick the demos, right? So sometimes there is nothing there for some viewers. That happens. Yeah. That Cave Sword Explorer game, that looked interesting. The Cave Sword Explorer game. I did play Ruiner, but it was such a horrible experience that I didn't put it in the archive, I think. That I was unplayable. See how different people get along with games. It's super interesting. So let's stop capturing the knights in lizard, the lizard knights in shiny armor and spaceships. Yeah, I found it completely horrid and unplayable. Is it not in the list? That's a bit. I thought it should be there. Nah, it's not in there. Okay. Normally I put in every game that I play. So that must have been another issue. I don't leave things out on purpose normally. Not like I need to hide any horrible games from the world, right? But yeah, Fabula was the first one where I thought, yeah, that's a cool thing. Then we had a look at Craftomation, which was not really good. Let's see if I can get you the list again. Oh, that should be it. There. So Craftomation was not ready. I like the idea. We had these little robots which you would then program via drag and drop, and that had too many user interface issues. The idea was brilliant, but it had too many user interface issues where you, as a new player, couldn't really get into doing very simple things. And I also think I was missing a point while I was playing the demo. So, you know, that was a very unique game that is probably not appealing to a large group of people. But if you like the idea of programming instead of puzzling, or programming instead of clicking other things, Craftomation is interesting. They have a cool idea. I think the goal was that you land with your ship on an icy planet, and you come with two robots, and then you automate them. And in the end, they are supposed to terraform the whole planet. Yeah. So bit of a big goal there. We had Amber Crusade, which was a top-down shooter. That was a bit bare bonesy. I don't know. I think I like the looks of it a lot. Let's see if I can. I like the looks of it. Amber is the fourth title apparently in a series of games that I've never heard about, which does not really speak in favor of Let's see if we can get some gameplay on the screen here. So you had this this blocky level, which you could fall off, right? You see me dodging around there, rolling around. I could actually fall off the level, which I realized very late in the in the gameplay. And you have this this blocky level here, where the movement is also a bit odd because of the layout, but you're not moving along the tiles. You can move freely, right? You also see that while you play. The same goes for the enemies. And you could pick from different characters, I think, in the full game at least. That's the plan, with a special ability. I just I can go back for a sec here. I just summoned some rifles there. They automatically shoot, whoops, while I shoot. And other characters would have different skills. Again, a game that looks a bit, you know, old. And obviously the reason behind that many indie games look old or simple graphics is that basically everybody can develop much easier in open source engines or simple engines, right? So you can get your idea out there without having to use licensed engines or without using a big team of graphics artists and so on. Hey, T-Bang! I'm not gonna rate them, but this one was fun to play. It was just not how do you say that? Not good enough. The boss fight was completely overtuned, and I could not dodge any bullets that the boss was shooting. That was a bit frustrating, but it had vast potential. So I guess if they stick around and develop it a bit more and fine tune it a bit more, it could be really fun for like short sessions that you could play. Ember Crusade 4, right? That's the one. Bika, welcome. Yeah, 710, right? It's a 710. Yes, fancy graphics are not necessary, and pixel typey games are very much depending on the user if it works or if it doesn't. I think for most people it does not work. With increasing screen size and screen resolution, we are less and less used to low resolution and small screens. And the pixels worked on smaller screens at least a bit better. So there's I think a breaking point. I had a breaking point yesterday when I was checking out Signalis. Signalis was too much for my taste, and I can take a lot of pixel shenanigans. Let me see. Yeah, but they still look not good. I mean, you know, that's they don't look good. But they would work better on an old monitor probably. So can I maybe? I'm scrolling through the video here. Yeah, that's a good spot. So Signalis was there. Just so that I'm not double. It's not double me on the screen, right? I mean, I could probably do this, and we see myself from yesterday, right? So it's a pixely game, and it's an atmospheric horror type of game, and they put so much work in all the details and the atmosphere. This cockpit, for example, was nuts how many details are in there. But the thing is, on my screen, it all looks very borderline ugly, right? And I turned off nearly all the effects that they had originally planned, to like a CRT line effect and so on. This is pretty. this is a good game, good looking game, but in that resolution, I couldn't really work with that. But there are lots of people out there who go crazy when they see this because of all the detail and because of the work that has been put into making a game look this detailed with pixels, right? So I think it's a bit of a hobby for some to go and look at these pixel art games. If you are yourself into designing or drawing with pixels, you're obviously much more inclined to like this kind of stuff. And for me, it's about visual. How do you say that? Accessibility. If I get disoriented or feel weird because I'm looking at some effects on the screen, it doesn't really matter if they're from pixels or from shaders or from lighting filters or whatever. So this is pretty much a very impressive pixel art game. I'm gonna see if I can show you the here. There they have the curvature and the CRT lights of the old monitors that existed in the 90s still, and then somehow a few years later they were gone. That was just too much. I could barely read text and found it kind of hard to get into that here, right? So that was my my limit was reached on that game. For others, as soon as it goes beyond a certain pixel count, they are out because they don't find it visually. They can't take it. It's either it's disorienting, or they get headaches, or it's just ugly. There are a multitude of reasons for that, right? Hey, Wenchkin, how you doing? Wait, why are you up? What's the time on your end of the world? Wenchkin, welcome in. So CRT monitors, they have, yeah, this is the CRT effect turned off. This is the Deviate was asking in chat yesterday, right? This is with the CRT effect off. This is the light version. Normally they had like film grain and CRT mode extra on top of that. So, so there's that. Oopsie daisy, right? So that was Signalis. It was a super interesting game. I was not the target audience for that. It was like a fan service for. It goes into Contra and Metal Gear Solid into that direction, right? It was a good job, but not something I would enjoy. You're doing good, awesome. It's only 2:30. Gee, early in the morning. I've got my evening coffee cup here. I always forget the time difference. It's just I can't, for some reason, can't remember time zones. It's horrible. Oh, I'm invisible. Right. So welcome in. We are just talking games today, and I decided to start with the Steam Next Fest that I covered over the last 5 days. Yeah, we're currently going through the first day, and I'm trying to pick some favorites, which is hard. It is really not an easy task. Let's see. So Ember Crusade was a cool shooter, right? Destructure was a mix of air hockey and Breakout. It's such a nice idea, right? Air hockey Breakout. So you with your mouse you move a little cup sort of thing, or like a, I don't know, like a circle formed machine, and then you bounce around the ball and destroy the enemy's turrets and whatnot. Oh no, I did not. I did not. Did you check it out, Wenchkin? Oh, trying to carry old, yeah, 20-inch televisions. That's why we have back problems. Oh man, I remember carrying the 27-inch monitor I had. I think that's the last one I bought. It was way too large. It was way too heavy. I might remember it wrong, but I think it was 20 kilograms or some silly number. It was just nuts. So Destructure, Among Debris, a mix of Breakout and Air Hockey. That is just smart. But the game sadly didn't play like a fun arcade game. It played like a super hardcore precision experience. Sadly, I didn't enjoy that a lot. I found it way too tough, especially as a showcase. But the idea is really smart. I mean, the structure is probably not the fanciest name ever, but it was interesting to see. Hey, son, welcome. How is it going? Way more. I had a 27-inch one, and I think it was 20 or 20, maybe 25, but not more than that. I mean, I was able to carry it, but I was young and strong back then, right? So, and now I'm old and have back problems. After Destructure, we did check out Diluvian Ultra, which didn't convince me at all. It was a retrofied shooter that had pretty okay pixel graphics in the end, right? But the gameplay was not engaging enough. It was a bit frustrating. I can show you the graphics real quick. It's Diluvian Ultra. It was like a mix of Warlock, Project Warlock, and Doom, maybe. And I sort of, maybe that's my issue, right? I sort of expected gameplay that was engaging and fun and fast and starting before 10 hours of storytelling, but that's not what happened. But I'm going to show you the look of the game, because we were just talking about the pixelation and how that can sometimes work and sometimes it cannot. Diluvian Ultra, there you go. Just gonna make myself disappear so that we can have not two Nemos but one. There can only be one Nemo on screen at a time. So, see, it's what quality are we watching in? Of course. Of course, it's good. It's a mix of modern lighting techniques and shader overlays and old school level design. Well, level design was actually not bad, but some objects are 2D. Here you can see that. It was okay looking. It had some atmosphere going for it, but we start out with a sword. There was a lot of dialogue and explanation of some weird world that was completely not able to convince me that it makes sense that it exists or that it is cool that it exists. Right? We were in the position of Attila, who has a blood sword, and then I think 8 minutes later we still have the blood sword and we're still running around, not doing much at all. And I was just getting very impatient with the game. At some point we got a gun. There, we got a gun. It's a modifiable, half-alive gun, and we were shooting robots. And you know, this right here, this episode, you have a gun, you shoot robots. They should have started with that. So that was probably a bit of an issue with my expectation and what the game was presenting us with, because in its entirety it works. It makes sense how it's done, and the gun is probably pretty cool, and you can get lots of upgrades. I think you can have like 8 different or 9 different weapons later on. So it's everything is there, right? But we played it for I think 20-30 minutes, and I shot off 2 or 3 bullets. But yeah, maybe it went more into the direction of Hexen or Heretic, and I didn't see that. But it was super fast. You had like a double jump dash combo that you could use, so there was a lot of verticality and speed to the game. But they didn't do anything with that other than they made us dash across a gap, and then we had to dash upwards to get a button. yeah, I don't know. So Diluvian Ultra is maybe something you should check out if you are into the looks of what you just saw. And if you can take the story in, because I don't know, I couldn't. Fair point though, I did check out so many games over the last week, that I might have gotten impatient at some points. Right? But it wasn't all bad. It wasn't all bad. It's just not a game that I could pick as my favorite. I guess that's a fair point. So yeah, did you guys check out the Next Fest on Steam with all the available demos? Like 1,200 different demos were available, or are still until tomorrow. They are still until tomorrow. You can still check them out. Oh, did I say 27? Yeah, I didn't mean 27. I meant 21 inch. That's more about the size. Sorry, I didn't mean that I had a 27-inch CRT. Nope. But yeah, that was Next Fest was great. We had a look at so many games, and I'm gonna. Yeah, that's right. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you're supposed to do it, right? You don't want to do the madness. I do the madness, and you just put on the wish list and wait until they are complete, like in the case of Domekeeper, which was amazing. Domekeeper was so much fun. I did sneakily after the stream. Yeah, I think after the stream of the second day, I played Domekeeper again, and I defeated the boss. We have FIFA for that. Because Domekeeper is really, really good. I recommend it wholeheartedly. It's a mix of very unique, right? It does take a very old game idea. I'm just gonna show you a still of that, and then you know what I'm talking about. Quickly pick. So that should be enough to show you what I'm talking about. Right here, you see me trying to defend my dome. This is the dome. This is the laser. This is the bad guy, and I'm shooting it. Yeah, missile command. You got it. You got it. Right. You defend against monsters that attack your dome, and then comes the plot twist. You go down with your jetpack, and then you go and mine for resources. You can carry a limited amount. The more you carry, the slower you become. Right? It's such a mean concept. I always wanted to carry, as you can see there, more than I should to afford more, to be able to afford more upgrades. You can see here there are 3 different resources which you can grab from below, and then you can upgrade your dome, your laser. Then you could get extra weapons, more speed. You could get upgrades for your jetpack so that you have more carry capacity or faster. And jump forward. There were unique things that you could find that would give you a choice of 3. They were called relics. Oh, look at that, right? The dome is nearly destroyed. I just barely survived that, and it was a great amount of fun to play that. It was such a simple concept, and again, a pixely looking game, but it doesn't really matter in that case because it was pure fun to play it. You always had a bit of pressure. And it was super rewarding to get the resources, bring them up again in time for defending against the monsters that were attacking from left, right, and flyers. They were also flyers that would attack your dome. And like I said, after the second day, after this stream here, I was sneaking back to the PC and played Dawnkeeper and beat the first, well, the demo. I beat the demo. That was super satisfying. I remember there was someone came into the stream and said, "Ah, yeah, that's so cool. I just beat the game for the second time," and they were feeling similar about the fact that it feels super rewarding to get there. Yeah. I don't mind retro graphics. I don't mind. There are games where it works, and there are games where it doesn't, and I don't mind pixel count. I mean, we had one game. Oh, what was that? That was a while ago. We had one game that was so pixelated that even I was dipping out and said, "No, I can't see what's going on." I was just like squinting. But normally, I don't have a problem with that in general. Good example. Selaco. If you are into retrofied is my word. I should copyright it. They are modern games made look old. Selaco was really good, and I hope it's not too much that I'm jumping between the screens or the windows here so much. But I think it's cool that I can directly show you a bit of footage of what I'm currently talking about, because we have so many examples with the Next Fest. So Selaco, you will get a moving picture now. Right, so you see me looking very concentrated because I wasn't sure where to go at that point in the game. I was a bit lost. I think I tried for 3 times or something, and I got shot every time because I was getting confused. So we're gonna fast forward a bit. But as you can see, it's a retrofied look, but it's a very modern game. It had slide attacks. It was apparently very exciting, and you could pick between lots of different difficulties. You can, yes, exactly. You could pick between lots of different graphics options, and it is based on GZ Doom, which is a source port of the ID Engine 2, if I'm not completely wrong. Or is it 3? No, it's 2. I think 3 is Quake. So they made a very impressive looking game with a very old baseline engine that has been. I think the GZ Doom is a good source port, right? It comes with lots of options. Ooh, that's a good calling, Sleepy. You enjoy that. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Strawberries. Oh, nice. Catch you later. Right, so we're looking here at you're not completely wrong, you're completely right. We're looking here at something that I find super impressive when it comes to retrofied games. A similar example, for me at least, that I found also very impressive and very fun to play was Iron Fury. But this year, Selaco is a demo, but it felt like a complete game. I'm not sure for how long they plan on developing it further, but it was super smooth, and it played very nicely. We had no technical issues at all, and all the accessibility / graphics options were there. So you can also make it look less retrofied if you like, right? Hey, Poetrix, Mass Effect is retro? Nah, isn't that a bit early? I think 20 years is the count. Isn't it 20 years and then it's retro? But this is impressive. Selaco is an impressive game. Can we see some enemies, Nemo? They were killing me later on. Let's see. Here, there's some gunfire. So if you see the gunfire, the lighting and also the sound work for this game is brilliant. So they did everything right, and they have crafted really cool looking levels here. So that was an impressive example of a retrofied game that I found very enjoyable. And they didn't start long before the action did kick in. There was no big explanation for the story. It was like, right, you have the physicality of the gun because of the recoil, how they made that look and move. And you can make that lighter or heavier, so if you find it's a bit much, you can reduce it. But it played very, very meaty and like a very good shooter. So Selaco is something I will recommend to everybody who's not shouting at me to stop talking about it. So check it out. It's really good, Selaco. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, modern games and not so retro looking games. I mean, old games that are not pixelated, they can look ugly. I'm not gonna pull out lots of examples now, but there are games from the early 2000s that are not pixelated, but they are ugly as hell. I'd rather play an old game or a retrofied game sometimes rather than a early 2000s game with polygons that are just from hell. Right? Son, you read a roadmap type deal about this just the other day? All right. Yeah, no problem. Everybody who's interested in Selaco can check it out on Steam. You can also check out the archive. It's in there. All the highlights from the last 5 days are already in the archive. It's what I did all day long today before the stream. I put all the 51 videos in the archive, so you can check them out. You're welcome. It was actually really a great week, because out of the 51 demos that we saw, there were quite a few good ones, more than I expected to be there. Right, so we had this here. The first day was pretty decent. The second day was starting out really bad with a copy of Dorfromantik. That was really super bad. Then we played Necrosmith, the most fun I had, I think, on that day. Minicology was not there yet. I was contacted by the developer though, which was really nice. They thanked me for checking out the game and told me about their plans, and they wanted to add that I completely missed out on the fact that there is a quick craft button, because half the stream I was complaining about how I can't remember all the recipes to craft the things, and I didn't see the quick craft button, which is apparently a thing. So yeah, I do miss stuff sometimes. That happens. Eyes in the Dark was good fun, a very stylish 2D black and white shooter. Here in the preview you can see a bit the style. The developer was also coming in there, one of them at least, and we were talking about keyboard controls, and that was pretty nice as well. So it was a good experience over all the days. But I can tell you that it's kind of hard to pick one. If I should pick one out of each day, right? Imagine you can only keep one of these games. Imagine a friend was giving you a preview for all these, and then I'll give you one of them. Oh, that's hard. Very hard. Artful, what? It's sometimes an excuse for programmer art. Art for games is no longer a huge problem because of assets. That's what I type when I sneeze while typing. That's what I do when I sneeze while typing. Asset flips, or bundle images and all that, they do stick out like a sore thumb. I usually see them. It's the same for sounds. There are some sounds that have been reused so many times because they came from some library that was for free. and it can really hurt your game. Sometimes it does not. More often it does, I think. But yeah, in the end, it's up to each player to decide what's their turn on and turn off point, right? And I was really turned on by Sulaco. That was just, I was not really salivating. You could have seen that on stream, but it was close. It was really close. Isle of Arrows was a super smart tower defense puzzle combination. Very simplistic graphics. There's a hint of it that you can see here, like a tile-based 16 color or maybe 32 tower defense puzzle mix. Very, very, very cool. We had a look at Cultic. 3D Realms are at it again. Cultic is a very promising looking retro shooter because it's not retrofied. I think it's really the old build engine, if I'm not completely wrong, but I can't guarantee that. I just a tiny bit at the side of the mouth here. You can see it. It was a tiny bit of white there. Hey Devin, welcome. How's it going? Welcome to Just Talking Games. We're talking about everything today. I want to talk about everything at the same time, but I'm trying to make sense while I'm doing that. So, welcome to talking about Steam Next Fest Demo Madness Day 2. That was on Wednesday. How are you doing? So yeah, picking one is just nearly impossible because obviously I was the one who picked all these demos. So there's a high probability that I like more than one. That's a bit different for the viewer side of this stream format because since you didn't pick the demos, I might have picked all the genres that you hate or only one game of the genre that you really like, and so the hit or miss chance is a bit warped. But I try to pick the ones that are presentable, interesting, and potentially even fun. And sometimes I pick one or two games, sometimes also more, that are not really presentable or really bad. We had a few bad eggs. We had a few bad eggs, but I think all over the course of the 5 days we had some really, really cool ones. Yeah, doing good. Thank you. Thank you. Having coffee, talking about games. Very happy that I don't stream another 13 games today. I might have overdone it a bit, but honestly, when I started out into browsing the demos, I didn't expect to find that many because we have been doing. Let's see. Did we have Next Fest in 2020? Retro time. Oh yeah, we had some cool retro shooters here. Nice. Indie Discovery. No, I think we started doing this last year. Must have been February, right? Early access check, rediscovery, tower defense. Humble choice. I haven't marked it properly last year. Next. Okay, in October. I definitely put it in October. Yeah, I mean, some games, some demos we have only looked at for like 5 or 6 minutes because they were total garbage. So sometimes we went through 13 games real quick. Other games, they need a full hour. The concept on the channel, for those who are maybe here for the first time or not constantly hear me explaining this, on the Discovery stream, which normally happens only on Saturdays, we check out 6 games. Each game gets maximum 1 hour. That way we can check out more than 1 or 2 per day, and it's a really fun concept. It turned out over the last years, and see, in October 2021 we had Next Fest streams. I did a few less on those. Games done quick. Yes, in my personal interpretation of that. But we had a look at the Next Festival last year, and there were quite a few games on that already. And I constantly check out games from the indie sphere. And I didn't expect there to be so many left or so many new ones in the current Next Fest, because it's still running till tomorrow. If you want to check out any of these demos, you can do that until tomorrow. And just try Dome Keeper. Trust me. I'm not getting paid for this, by the way. See, there's a business opportunity. Pay me to pick your game out of 13 demos on Next Fest. People are probably already doing that. Games done quick, but actual fun allowed. I would second that. Yes. So we found so many potentially interesting ones, and there were really good ones among these. I personally very much enjoyed the Zombie Cure Lab, which is basically they are billions, but in Canada. So obviously you cure the zombies and make them your co-worker buddies instead of killing them. I found that so. The idea is so likable, and the game was a bit bare bonesy and very early in the development stages. But I find the idea is brilliant, and it was good fun. It was. I think it has potential to become entertaining on the level of 2 Point Hospital. Just instead of curing silly illnesses, you do silly things with zombies, right? You have a snowball launcher to freeze them, then you put them in your curing machine, and there are different cures available. The cure we used was pouring something into their head. I thought it was maybe knowledge, or I don't know, Kool-Aid. Right, and then we played the Fabulous Fear Machine, which was I have to show that. The style of that was pretty cool. The Fabulous Fear Machine. That was cool looking. It was made to look like one of those old pulp fiction novels. Yeah. Let's see. We find a good. Right. So we were checking the game out, and then we were tasked with spreading fear and doom and dread all over the world because reasons. And then they were presenting the game in this color palette and with the comic strip like pictures, right? And the Fear Machine is the narrator basically in this. And we are spreading rumors of poisonous frogs raining from the sky at this point in the game. And that was from a graphics point of view, very specific, very odd choice, but it was sort of working out, and it was not a bad game actually. Who was it? Bika, I think, was saying it's like Pandemic but different. It's a bit different from Pandemic. You have more active parts in this compared to Pandemic, but the spreading of rumors is definitely here is another example of how they present it. And I thought maybe it's style over substance. I did pick it out anyway because it was interesting enough to see, and it turns out it's a decent game. I think it's worth playing, right? The Fabulous, was it called that? Fabulous? The Fabulous Fear Machine. It's a title and a half. Yeah. So yeah, Next Fest was completely mental. So you guys didn't pick out any demos. I can barely believe that. Did you not try any? Are you waiting for my 710? I was really trying to pick my favorites, but I ended up picking 17. That's too many. That's too many. But if I should give you a list here. Those are really worth checking out. You can then fine-tune it by kicking out the ones that you find are ugly or not your genre, and then hopefully you find at least one. You can copy that and browse through Steam checking them out. Those are the ones I would say have been either the most fun or the most promising or the most interesting to see out of the 51 demos that I was showing over the week. That was Steam Next Fest. I could go on for a few hours, but I would rather that you check out the highlights and see the actual gameplay instead of just me talking about the games. Let's see if there's one in the list I really need to talk. Shotgun King. There's that. You need to check that out if you like chess or if you hate chess. They are both a good reason to check out Shotgun King. What a smart little game that is. I was super surprised by that. I thought it was like a joke, like a meme game. That was really good. Stonekeeper was really cool. Like that. Above Snakes is in the list, even though I was really moaning when I played it, but I think it has vast potential. Above Snakes is a survival game where you is best to show it. You build your world around you. Right, that should work. You build your world around you. Oops, and there it was already. Right, you're running around on your plains tile here, and you're building your house, and then you pick a new tile to place, and that's basically expanding your game world. Right, now I can go over there and harvest fruits and collect wood and rocks and whatnot. So the idea is super cool. The issue I had was that in the demo we were playing for nearly an hour and I had picked 7 planes. So I was picking the same tile over and over again, and that was not super exciting. Given that it's a survival crafter, of course it's a bit slow paced in the beginning. You don't make much progress real quick. And it's apparently a rule of the genre that you don't easily break, but I think they should break it. It needs to be faster to the different, let's call them biomes. But the idea is so cool. The idea is just so cool that you get to pick a tile every so often. You see this white bar here? That's your experience bar or progress bar. As soon as that fills up, you pick a new tile to place, and you have a little research crafting bench where you research new tiles like forests and lakes, etc. They are not planning to release anytime soon, so I think it's fair to say, benefit of the doubt, they might just get the dynamic. They might just get it right, yeah. So that it's more fun in the first. I mean, who plays a game for 45 minutes to find out if it's fun, other than me? I guess a lot of people do that, but yeah, they need to start to be catching on to the awesome a bit earlier, I think. So feel free to to check out the that list there. Apart from the Steam Next Fest, we had last weekend, right? We had the PC Gamer Showcase for 2022, which was mad. Because there was a lot of stuff that I found completely not interesting, and it was a long list of things. Just quickly, they announced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 40 games or something, maybe more. And I was sitting there thinking, yeah, okay, it's another F1 manager. It's another. Oh, well, it's not another F1 manager. It's the big hype. It's not another F1 racing game, it's F1 Manager, but it's not interesting for me. But there were lots of things that were just, yeah, okay. Outriders DLC doesn't interest me. Battle Royale doesn't interest me. But there were still some really interesting games there, and we're gonna have a look at a few. So I'm gonna show some trailers of the few games that I picked out of the list, right? And then you can butt in and say, Nemo, you can't leave this game out of your list here. Not possible. But the first one I want to mention that was featured with a new trailer on the PC Gaming Showcase was Witchfire. We talked about that on the last Just Talking Games. That was in December 2020. That's the last time I mentioned Witchfire to anyone. And back then I was saying something along the lines of, I really hope they can finish developing that. And they're still working on it. They have like a little developers blog, but they don't update it a lot. And I thought, okay, the game's dead, they moved on, they're doing something else. It often happens to games. It's a normal thing, and we have to deal with it. But suddenly they appeared on the PC Gamer showcase, and we're gonna have a look at the trailer for Witchfire now. And I hope I can make it so that our ears don't blow off. Enjoy. That's in-game. That's not video or something. Crossbows. Splat. And I was... So, this is gonna be turn off for many people. I don't care. The astronauts are developing, they are still developing Witchfire, which looks really damn good. I agree, Devin. I absolutely agree. It looks really damn good. They have a really interesting gameplay loop there. From the last developers blog that I read, they are still not 100% certain how much is it going to be a large focus on arena combat, or is it occasional arena combat? So there are still lots of moving parts there, right? But the trailer looks very promising. Some of the sounds were still very early access. The shotgun was quite okay already. They actually put out a video where the sound designer is sitting in his garage trying to work out the best shotgun reload sound. Super interesting if you're into that kind of thing. And they did a good job apparently. Some other sounds were not up to snuff yet, I would say. Witchfire is going to happen at some point in time. I don't care if they finish it, if it arrives in early access. I'm already happy. But obviously, it would be brilliant if they finish it up. Actually, I wanted to. Ah, right, okay. I need the window capture for the trailers. I don't want the display capture all the time. So, Witchfire. A super interesting game. The plan is... Where's my plan? Lost my plan. Oh, here. Early access release is planned for the last quarter of 2022. and I think they will then have an early access phase that's going to be a bit longer. So I really hope it's going to be worth the wait, but it looks pretty damn promising. And I have not written them off, but I was really afraid that they cancelled development on that one. Right? Since last time I talked about it on stream was 2020. But yeah, there you go. Witchfire was I think that was my happiest moment when I was watching the PC Gamer showcase. Well, more like browsing. Yeah, I've heard about Scorn. Scorn is gonna be day one release on Game Pass. I ended up not finding it super interesting apart from the looks. I'm just double checking. Scorn coming in October. 21st October, Game Pass, yeah. That game was dead for a solid 5. Yeah. That usually, I mean, I'm not a big expert on how games are being developed and how that works, but I'm seeing it more and more often that when a development team either gets proper funding or completely throws away their initial idea, they go radio silent for X amount of months or years. And it makes a lot of sense if you think about it, right? If they get proper funding, they first want to make sure that the funding and their plans are on target, and they might just formulate new targets, and things change. And sometimes you have an idea and you try to present it, and then you think, now we have to do it differently, and then you make it go away, and you risk it that you get invisible, only to be rediscovered. So there's that. 5 years is a long time to be dead. Yeah. Scorn. Give me a sec. Scorn was featured on the PC Gaming. Yeah, they had a trailer. On the PC Gaming event. I cannot ever remember the proper title for that show. PC Gaming Show 2022, presented by PC Gamer. Somehow they also put summer in there. But it's not the George Keighley thing, it's the other thing.
Desolate and...
Yeah, okay. So, it changed a bit, but for the better.
Desolate and decayed. A grisly nightmare of macabre perception. Greetings. I'm your host, Doug Bradley, and I invite you to join me as we explore Scorn's mesmerizing labyrinth of odd forms and somber tapestries.
When he says somber tapestries, right, he means dead bodies, intestines, and blood, and gore. But he calls it somber tapestries, so that's fair.
In the middle of a desolate hellscape, filled with biomechanical contraptions, part flesh, part machine.
Yeah, I'm not going to show the rest because it is very graphic, and it's the early evening still. But Scorn is probably, that's me predicting the future, right? It's probably going to be more about the graphics than the gameplay. which is okay, right? There are reasons to prefer graphics over gameplay sometimes. What's a good example? Greece. Ah, well, that has good gameplay as well. So yeah. Scorn is going to be splitting the people, the players into this is disgusting and this is awesome, because it is very violent, graphically violent. But there is something to the inspiration they took from H.R. Giger, who did design the original Alien, among other things. Very famous. Isn't he from Switzerland? Artist. It can be that gameplay wise is going to be really good. I can't really tell, but I just had a feeling that it might be more shock value over game value. But I really hope I'm wrong. Yeah, he did die a few years ago. That's true. T-Bank, you can come back. We stopped the ugly thing. Yeah, that was a bit of a graphic trailer. But I didn't pick it out of the presentation for more than that reason. It was not only the graphic violence that I didn't want to show, it was also that I thought, it might just not end up being interesting. But you guys are all very much invited to let me know about things that I should check out that I might have missed on Next Fest or on the game shows, because I'm just one person, right? I miss stuff. I don't see everything. I can't keep track of all the things. So I'm very, very grateful if you butt in and say, "Oi, what have you checked this or that out?" As you can see, we can quickly then jump over to your favorite and check it out real quick. And if you say Hello Kitty Island, you might be banned from stream forever. Yeah, missing stuff, right? The fear, the FOMO. Jesus. Talking about fear of missing out, I have talking points here on my professional presentation that I prepared for you. No, but I have some notes that I wanted to go through. Talking about missing out, which game series absolutely needs to continue? That's a question I have for you. It's leading up to something else, but you know. Hello Kitty Island? No, we're not going to check that out. Which game series really needs to continue but does not yet get any announcement of that sort? Do you have something like that? Like, if you say Assassin's Creed, I might be able to tell you, but it's gonna happen anyway. Assassin's Creed 24. The revenging of the Vikings. Mass Effect, huh? After the Andromeda shock. Fallout 5. Is it something we want to talk about, or is it something we want to be sad about? Oh, yes. That's a good point. Hellgate Berlin. Yeah, home run for us. Destroy Germany. Wait, what? That's not what I said. Yes. Hellgate would work. We could call it Hellgate Europe or something. Gives us lots of options. Paris and so on. Yeah. Mass Effect. Fallout also. T-Bank, if you could choose. Yes, exactly. That was the question number 2. The other question was, but the other thing was an offer. You are most invited to let me know which games you think are very much worth talking about that I'm not covering today. But the question we're focusing on right now, so we can keep track of what we are saying, is game series that are continuing, that are not yet officially continuing, but we want them to. Nier. Oh, yeah. Yeah. See, there are some. There are obviously more than we are able to cover now, but there are quite some game series that have been either successful or that have been hit with very limited success and therefore, or for other reasons, do not continue currently. Deus Ex. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Did you play Missing Link and well, Missing Link was really not a good example, but the other two. Missing Link was an expansion on one of them that was first released on mobile and then ported to PC. It was very playable, I thought, but yeah, anyway. Deus Ex. Yeah. Nier. The Nier universe is also, there's a lot of potential. Deus Ex is great. Elite Dangerous. But they haven't got their space legs under control yet, right? Oh, XCOM 3 has been confirmed. Ish. Confirmed-ish. Nice. I finished the coffee. Finally. Also move this so I'm not as glaring. Yeah, they are good examples. XCOM 3 was always going to happen. The second game was a huge success, wasn't it? I mean, sometimes games don't get a continuation for licensing reasons or other issues that can happen. Yeah. We are going to get back to that in a minute. Marvel's Midnight Suns, we're gonna cover that. That's gonna be happening October 7th. We said games, not Ponzi schemes. Star Citizen. Nice try. Yeah, they are really good examples that you brought up here. Hellgate is a game that was never really super successful, I think. Hellgate London. I am so in love with the concept, and I had so much fun playing it. I would definitely jump onto a new Hellgate. Mass Effect. Poetrix, how would you see Mass Effect continue? Would it expand in the future, timeline-wise, or would it go back, maybe? Like not Earth as a central viewing point, but maybe the back the past of well, one of the races that are on the Citadel, maybe, or some pre Game 1 scenarios would be possible, right? You would like to see the Andromeda story continued. Awesome. Ooh, Dawn of War. I recently installed Dawn of War 2 again because I wanted to finish up the campaign, but I never finished the campaign of Dawn of War 2. Such a good game. And I have never touched the third one. The Andromeda story of Mass Effect. Yeah, I need to see the end first. But they can obviously already continue. That's not a problem. XCOM, Dawn of War. That's a good list of games, huh? And we the connoisseurs. Am I allowed to say that? I think I'm not allowed to say that. We know our shit. We know how to pick them. But yeah, I think we were gathering up some really good things there, and I did, you know, because I'm a total pro, I prepared this so that I can now say Did you get the news that there's gonna be Warhammer Space Marine 2? I didn't expect that to continue. I wasn't sure that they wanted to continue that game series. I mean, it's Warhammer, but Warhammer Space Marine is such a gem inside all the releases in the Warhammer universe. Space Marine was just so good. Yeah, the Rogue Trader game could be really good. That is very true. That is very true. So in Warhammer 40k, a lot of things are moving around, and since they announced Warhammer, you know, feel free to watch the trailer now. I just have the Darktide trailer here. But Space Marine 2, I'm totally gonna play that. I think it also was featured in one of the shows, but yeah, the PC gamer event had that covered. Do we want to see the trailer? Ah, come on, Nemo. Don't be shy. It's going to be gory and bloody, but it's going to be okay. There are lots of crap trailers here. Chatting with the devs. I just want to see the bit of gameplay they showed. I'm currently only finding old stuff. It's very annoying. Yeah, sorry. We're gonna skip that. I can find no trailer at the moment. But yeah, there's gonna be a Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm not sure. They had a dev interview. I think they also showed some gameplay, but we're gonna just assume it's gonna be awesome. Portrix, do you think Mass Effect 3, but long in the future, and people being aware of the Mass Effect trilogy events? All right. So with the events of 3 continued into the future, and then yeah. So there's a lot in the Mass Effect universe that could happen. There's room, right? There's room. So between Witchfire and Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, that is where my excitement was. What else happened? Well, yeah, something else I'm quite excited about, but I'm not getting lots of information about that. They're keeping it under the lid, is Farthest Frontier. Great Entertainment, the guys who made Grim Dawn, they are making a survival game. Strategy builder sort of thing. And I can barely get anything from that frontier even. So early access is supposed to start this year, probably late this year, and yeah, Wenchkin mentioned that as well. Yeah, the Rogue Trader game, absolutely. I'll keep my eye on that. That's probably something I'll enjoy. But Farthest Frontier is gonna be you know, I just want them to be successful with yet another game, because they did just a very good job with Grim Dawn, and they are jumping from a genre from ARPG to a survival builder. That's brave. I really like that. And we'll see. There's not much information out there that I could find about Farthest Frontier, but I got excited about that as well. Not that it is continuing a series, but anyway. It's probably a game I could do with some information for. Was that a sentence? Anyway, I would love some information about Farthest Frontier, please. Thanks. That's that. And then what else happened on the PC Gamer Showcase that is not mainstream than regular? Oh, here. Deliver Us Mars. Does that ring a bell? Deliver Us Mars? Give me a sec. I think I'm missing a bookmark here. Quick second. Nemo needs to fix the stuff. Oh yeah, the Battle Sister expansion is coming. I was really not super excited about Martyr when I last played it. I don't know why. I'm currently discussing that with myself. I think I might have overdone it a bit with Grim Dawn. So I'm taking a very long break from ARPGs in general. It's a bit weird. So let's see. I have the PC Gamer event, which I definitely need to mute. Now, and I wanted to show Deliver Us Mars. Oh, there's more I wanted to show. Ooh, The Invincible. Does that ring a bell? Now that we're talking about the atmospheric games. It's a good question. I have no news about the Warhammer 40k Battle Sisters, but this here is the gameplay trailer, the first one for The Invincible, which is an atmospheric sci-fi.
What have you done?
Where are you taking me?
You came here yourself. So what are you expecting, huh?
You've set up a field camp down there.
Yes, ma'am.
So I didn't expect you to have a second one here.
Really?
Sit here and don't you dare move. What are you doing here?
You're not gonna like this part.
Gameplay.
The radiation level is growing rapidly. It's starting to get interesting.
Sort of
I'll pretend I didn't hear that, Doctor.
low-tech science fiction. And it's an atmospheric exploration game mostly. Very much looking forward to it. I'm not sure they should have led with those interaction prompts there. But, you know, people call them walking simulators for a reason. And The Invincible and Deliver Us Mars are
I located the mobile antimatter cannon.
very similar in a way.
How many of those did they... Is it active?
Dead.
I admire your composure.
Wait, someone's here. Astrogator, they're dead.
So you found someone. Fortunately, such unpleasant discoveries are indispensable to the mission.
I didn't let that thought get to me. I was counting on this meeting very much. At worst, it could have been another abandoned place, but...
So, it looks really spacey, right? Like an actual planet. Not like, what's the worst example I can come up with? No Man's Sky, no. It's not their fault. What was the game called? Was supposed to be a role-playing game. In space. And the planets all looked like, I don't know, some fantasy version. This looks like an actual planet.
Not this.
But what exactly?
Or a place on the
That's
planet.
a good question.
Right? The rocks look like rocks and the sand looks like sand. That's what I mean. Very realistic.
I'm getting into the recorder.
So that's the sort of game I'm excited about when it comes to the story and atmosphere experience. Also, Deliver Us Mars, which I will now find in this. Endless Dungeon, which we will talk about later. Oh, there was so much advertisement in that. Somehow I haven't found a video with markers yet. Which is a bit of a pity. Normally you get someone who's really cool and puts all the time markers in for the different games. Alright, there's the Space Marine stuff. But it's really just in development footage. Nah. Oh, there we are. I found it. Right. Deliver Us Mars.
Ryan. This
It's a
Kathy.
follow-up.
Can you hear me?
What is the fanatical ad doing there? Go away. No, we don't want to learn more. We want you to go away. Rude. Deliver Us Mars is the follow-up to Deliver Us the Moon, which was a very satisfying experience. Very good story, atmosphere, mix.
Please come in.
Mission Opera has only one objective.
Bring the Arks and their revolutionary technology back home.
Here we go, Opera Team. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
I need to know that when we get there, you'll make the right decisions.
We can do this.
Lots of new
What do you expect to find
game
on
elements.
Mars?
Climbing, vehicles. Seems good. Has some puzzle elements and is going to be coming out in September this year. Yay! Deliver Us Mars.
Hi, my name's Elise.
Hi, my name is Nemo. I'm not currently playing your video. A very promising experience for those of you who are into the story atmospheric kind of thing. Battle Sisters was supposed to be released starting on 23rd, but has been delayed. Alright. Alright. But very soon, huh? Well, they should finish it up as good as they can. Like. One thing I wanted to talk about what I saw on the PC Gamer Showcase that I found really mind-blowing is a bit of a large term, but super interesting is something called Norland. And I'll just show you the trailer here. No, not that. What? It's capturing the wrong thing.
But let's start from the beginning. Days and weeks kept on going by as usual. The work was in full swing. We were building, sewing, managing workshops, and paying salaries. But the city was growing, and we would often find ourselves running out of gold. As it turned out, the idea of saving money on buying flour was not that great after all. Some of us were driven to despair by guilt. Others tried to atone for their sins. But the workers couldn't care less about our efforts. Luckily, there are other law and order methods out there, and people like them. Finally, everyone could relax, even though some took relaxation to an entirely new level. Unfortunately, not all wives are as understanding as they should be. And everything would have worked out all right had not the deceased turned out to be a third cousin of the neighboring king's sister-in-law's brother. So, here we are.
It's the cutest, evilest trailer I could find. People have no legs, yes. There's murder and bloodshed. See, and the interesting thing about that is that Norland looks like RimWorld with royalty, with the royalty DLC. But obviously they have been inspired by that. What they made was a game where you play the role of a royal in some land that's called Norland, and you have to make decisions. And your decisions influence what happens in the game. And it's about conflict and backstabbing between royals. It's about the effects of bad rulership. And it all is a bit of a light-hearted take on some very evil things that go on there. And they called it a story generator. So basically, it's focusing on the psychology and event part of RimWorld, if you want. And I found that to be a very smart idea to put into a separate game. Norland. A royal family murder and story generator. Going to come out in fall this year. So that's the kind of game I find interesting to see on these game shows, right? There were also like 4 battle royales and 8 roguelites and 8 shooters, and yeah, okay, then we'll see those anyway. And Norland is something that goes under the radar real quick because people say, what now? A what and a who? And they don't have legs. I'm moving on. And I think it's going to be very, very fun game if you are into that kind of fun, that is. Let's murder our third cousin because he was spreading nasty rumors. There you go. What else was interesting on the PC Gamer Oh yeah, builder. There's a builder that's called Leysara Summit Kingdom. And that has two things going for it. It's a cool setting, and it looks really nice. So let's have a look at that. There you go. Oh, sorry. Leysara Mountain Kingdom. With weather. Summit Kingdom, sorry. So you build up the mountain. Right? Elevators. Promising, yeah, right? Promising, because not every builder can be about space or people dying of cold. Oh wait, there was snow, but I think it was a good mix of a new setting that hasn't been overly used in other games, and it looked really nice, right? There are not many good builder games, and that could potentially be good. So keep your eye on that if you are into the builder genre. That and Farthest Frontier are probably the more interesting ones. If you combine building with puzzling, you want to look at Terra Nil. Put it on your wish list. We had that featured last year on the Next Fest. I think it was last year. Terra Nil is going to happen. It's not far away, I think. Do we have information on that? Terra Nil, did they put out a date? Nah, release date is still to be announced. We'll see. But yeah, that's going to happen as well. I found that to be an interesting thing. Leysara Summit Kingdom. Here, T-Bank, if you want to bookmark that, that's the trailer for Leysara, or Leysara. If you're interested, you can bookmark that. I can probably put the links or the list of games that I featured today. I'll put that on the Discord tomorrow, or maybe later today, so you can follow up. Or maybe if you remember, oh, he was showing this and that trailer. What was the game called again, or when it's going to come out? So the information I collected for today, I will put on the Discord, so you have it available there. So Leysara Norland was interesting. There was another builder type game that was trying something really cool, and that is the game that I mixed up with Minicology, by the way. Big mistake on my part, because when I was streaming Minicology, the demo, I was going on about how it was supposed to be about keeping the balance between yourself and nature, and that was not the game that was trying to do that. It was never mentioned in Minicology. I mixed it up with a game called Synergy, and that is about balance and it's also a different type of game. I'm not sure how I mixed them up, but I did, and this is what I was talking about, actually. Synergy. A different approach to builders. Instead of exploit, expand, we're doing something different. Maybe.
What is below is destined to be understood. Our life depends on the whims of the weather. Our life is tied to this earth.
The water we harvest, the plants we grow, the air we filter. Any waste would be fatal to our survival.
We must learn to live in harmony with this world. For too long, we have wandered without purpose. From now on, our city will be a source of hope.
Our city will be a source of mumbled introductions. So we see here it's a mix of builder and storytelling, event management, and that could be good. That could also be bad, because if you stretch from one genre to more than one genre, you can end up not doing one or the other thing properly enough to convince the fans of either genre, and you end up with a small group of people that can deal with the mix and the lack of polish on either genre focus, right? So I think moves like that are risky and worth it. So let's hope it works out for this game. But it certainly has its own look, and it seems, from what I can glean from the trailer here, I'm just going back a bit. So you do definitely place your buildings and build your settlements. And you also choose events, or they call it social pacts here. But this reminded me of quite a few games, actually, like among others, Frostpunk, and then what's it called? The Dice game. How can I forget the name of that? Dice Legacy. So social pacts that influence your population and the world around your population in a way, right? So you have that, and you have a world map with neighboring tiles and events here where you can send expeditions. That's also very Frostpunky. So they gotta be careful that it's not copying too much, while leaving out the quality of what Frostpunk delivered, right? But it certainly looks unique, and the goal
to understand our world, we must explore it.
Explore and synergize.
The seeds of knowledge that bind all the elements together.
To build our survival.
To build our city. To live happily.
The tablets of knowledge. Potentially cool take on the builder genre, with flipping the whole thing around a bit, instead of making the usual, right? But sometimes the usual is also not too bad. So there's that. Right. It's been nearly 2 hours, and there are quite some more games I want to show. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 games from the Summer Game Festival that I want to talk about, and I think 1 or 2 more from the PC Gamer that I want to talk about as well. So I'll be back after a short break, and I'll talk to you for a bit longer, and with you, hopefully, about some games that are coming up, and hopefully get updates or are going to be released very soon. So thanks for watching up to this point. I really enjoyed this games talk. I haven't done it in a while, because it's always quite some work to prepare it, and it's something I don't do a lot. So compared to my usual streaming, this is a completely different type of presenting things, and I never am really sure if I'm doing an okay job or if it's completely weird. But yeah, it's not perfect. I had 2 trailers missing. I just found them now. I had them prepared, but I couldn't find them earlier, so that happens. But I find it very enjoyable to cover things that are interesting from these game shows, and I love to share that with you guys. So thanks for sticking around and being a part of this games talk. Just talking games. Yeah, you're most welcome, Winchkin. Yeah, I'm not allowed more coffee. Maybe half a cup. Half a cup, maybe. And then I'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes, something like that, with more games and trailers and a bit of a chat. See you later. And welcome back. Just Talking Games today. The first episode this year. I have somehow not been able to do more than this one. But we have been talking about Steam Next Fest. We have been talking about the PC Gamer show that happened last weekend and the Summer Games event that also happened last weekend. We have looked at a few trailers, some gameplay, and discussed our favorite series that really need to continue. Right? That was a good point. To start a joint effort of coming up with the most anticipated series that need a continuation. Dragon's Dogma. I could not get into the game. I played the first one on stream, but I couldn't really get into it. It seemed like it had really cool ideas and mechanics, but I don't know. I think the mouse keyboard controls were a bit odd. Wenskin, welcome back. Thank you. Right? I think the mouse keyboard controls were a bit odd. That was putting me off for some reason. I don't know. That was weird. Yeah, maybe that's a good way to put it. It has not aged well. I think I like the concept, but not the gameplay. Does that make sense? There was an announcement for Dragon's Dogma 2. Oh, cool. Was that last weekend? Ooh. Ooh. Very nice. Dragon's Dogma 2. Well, I haven't covered the Bethesda announcements. I haven't looked at that. But yeah, Dragon's Dogma 2 is a big one. That is definitely a big one. Wasn't there also an Xbox feature with lots of announcements? Or is that going to happen still? I kind of mix them up sometimes. There are so many events going on. Something I just remembered I wanted to show was a game called Tactical Bridge Wizards. Wait a sec. Right, before I show you the gameplay. No gameplay showing just yet. Just some information about the history of the game and the development. And they have some t-shirts. Okay. Well, merchandise is a big part of today's marketing, so they kind of have to talk about it. Yeah, cool. Dragon's Dogma. That is definitely. I should make a list of the ones you guys mentioned. Where are my things here? Dragon's Dogma 2. That's actually gonna happen, right? And then we had on the wish list Mass Effect after M3 or after Andromeda. Yeah, really interesting points there, right? Then we had Hellgate series. I've probably forgotten. I can scroll back through chat. Oh, T-Bank mentioned EverQuest. That was binned halfway through the development. Oh yeah, that's sad. Dawn of War should continue. XCOM. Elite Dangerous. After finishing Space Legs. Deus Ex. Oh yeah, that was true. Nier. Right. And then my most hoped for game did actually get number 2, and that was Warhammer 40k Space Marine. I see. They had a feature presentation of their of their unbuttoning. Nice. Yeah, cool. So, something I stumbled upon that looked like it could be silly fun was Tactical Breach Wizards, and we're going to have a look at the trailer now. Have a look at this. Sorry, let's just wait here for a sec. From the developers of Gunpoint and Heat Signature. Two really cool games, and they know their stuff. They know snappy gameplay and really cool ideas, and that always have to do with motion and movement, right? And now they are working on something they call Tactical Breach Wizards. Right? So they combined a SWAT tactical team with chain lightning and frost spells. How awesome is that? Yeah, it looks like it could be fun, right? There are some really cool choices there. Zerg Rush. Here, so you pick perks, and you have different types of wizards, right? That's outfits. Here, charms that you can have. Time boost, predictive bolt, and they were talking about rewinding and retrying. So I think this game is focusing on coming up with really fun plans and then trying to make them happen, right? And it seemed like it's kind of a good sort of humor in there. How good are you at dodging ghost cars filled with angry skeletons? Never made it past regionals. So yeah, some one-liners await that might just not be totally horrible. And I'm looking forward to that. Tactical Breach Wizards. Awesome. Another tactical, well, tactical, I'm not sure if that's the right thing. But another trailer I was very happy to see was the one from Endless Dungeon. Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? Have you played Breach and Clear, the mobile game that also arrived on PC at some point? I'm imagining a mix of Gunpoint and Wizards and Breach and Clear. I think it was called Breach and Clear. Let me double check. Breach and Clear. Yeah, there you go. So that was originally a mobile game, and it's a top-down tactical SWAT team game. That was pretty cool. And now with the Wizards coming in, it's just cooler. Nah, me neither. Me neither. I had it in a bundle. Some Humble Bundle had it featured. Normally, I don't get any mobile games But yeah, they also released it for PC, but it was originally for the tablet, if I remember correctly. So potentially very awesome game, that Wizard thing. And I'm not sure if you know the Endless universe, Endless Space 1 and 2, Dungeon of the Endless. Now they're gonna put out Endless Dungeon, which is gonna confuse a lot of people because of the naming. But I'm very much looking forward to it, and we have a trailer for that. Not yet rated.
Nah, you don't have what it takes. You'll be back here too scared to try again. 'Cause the dungeon will turn you into lunch meat. Unless you're way tougher than you look. We got the guns, the turrets, the upgrades. But what you really need is guts and skills. Grab your posse and say your prayers. Be the first to play. To die. To give your feedback. Do you have what it takes?
So they are marketing for signing up for the beta testing. Yeah, fair enough. Endless Dungeon. So Dungeon of the Endless was a turn-based co-op game. That worked well. And Endless Dungeon is going to be an action shooter, top-down, as co-op. That will also work well. The question I have is probably, will it be much different from other co-op loot shooters or not? We'll see. We'll see. And this dungeon is still a bit away. Didn't find a date, so we'll have to wait and see. But it's definitely going to be an interesting game, that one. Oh yeah. Then there was Flintlock. I have never heard about that before. At least I thought so, and then I saw that I was following that on Steam.
When the gods first emerged from the great below, we saw them as saviors. Instead, they unleashed a pestilence on our world. No one yet knows if you can kill a god. I, for one, intend to find out.
Right? It's pretty awesome. Promising, potentially just another open world game that's semi-okay, but it could also become really a good one. that depends on a lot of things actually. But yeah, early next year. I like the mix of the old school pistols and then some what seemed like teleporting different worlds. All seem very mysterious. So I'm gonna keep my eye on Flintlock. Pretty good, I think. The Siege of Dawn, it's called. So that was another one that I was not really looking to find when I was checking out the PC Gamer event, but I was pleasantly surprised, I have to say. And then I found out I had already marked it on Steam for following. Something that I think goes into a similar direction. Let me see. Is Nightingale. You probably all heard about Nightingale before, but I'm going to show you the trailer anyway.
You're alone in the realms, I'm afraid. The portals are a mess. Not even sure if Nightingale made it. Given how fragile you humans are, I'd say that staying fed, dry, and rested should be your priority. If the portal arch is inactive, you'll need to make realm cards from rare resources. Once you have realm cards, you can activate the portal. Beware, though. Foul things lurk in the interrealmic void, waiting to get in. Be ready with your axe pick.
Axe pick.
Shadows have offended. Think but this, and all is mended.
Nightingale. Looks a bit like it could be doing what New World didn't really pull off, which is create an interesting universe to discover. It could obviously fall into the same trap to become a rather medium quality open world crafting game. The steampunk is a setting or how do you say that? A theme that doesn't get used a lot, so that's good. I'm not sure if the axe pick is the best invention ever, but they seem to be proud of it. And the thing with the cards, if I understand it correctly, you sort of can influence the destination where you end up, and you sort of have a mix of No Man's Sky, unlimited generation of different worlds, replaced with a slight variation of different possibilities, where you end up traveling to and fro. So yeah. Yes, sadly, it had potential, I think, but they were in over their heads by a mile and then some. They had no clue what they were getting into or out of. I don't know. But maybe they just wanted to test the waters. I have, I never really understood that. Yeah. I think for a lot of people it worked well enough. I myself played it for 60 hours, I think. So I had some fun. But considering what type of game it is, I did spend a minimal amount. You're supposed to spend hundreds of hours on that type of game. Not a once over. But it was fun, so, If only to figure out that it's not in the end motivating enough for me, but it wasn't horrible. You got about 300 out of it. Oh wow. Yeah, I think around 60. Yeah, I'm gonna be transparent here. 72.1. Playtime. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're still doing events and such. There was a big update earlier this month, but there's not enough there to fix it or rescue it, right? But yeah, Nightingale could be something in the direction that is not an MMO, I think, but it's a multiplayer game, right? So there's that. Oh yeah, I have some art that I made for you. I wanted to show that. I completely forgot about that. I made some art for you to present today's stream. Welcome to the summer of gaming. I totally forgot that was my splash screen. See, I was not prepared well. I'm kidding. But yeah, the summer announcements were all very interesting. There were games that are getting continuations that I never really counted on. And that is not only Warhammer 40k Space Marine, but also Spellforce is getting a continuation of the universe that is a different type of game. Did you hear about that one? Yeah, the production value, right? Look at that. Summer of Gaming splash screen. All hail Nemo, king of happy little accidents. It's being auctioned as an NFT starting at $500. Spellforce. Conquest of Io. There's programmer art. That's art. This, yeah. Let's have a look at Spellforce.
Returning to your old master's tower, after years of traveling the realms of Aeon, you find it abandoned. Him vanished without trace. And you, the heir to the wizard's many secrets. Your purpose rekindled, and new tools at your disposal. You work tirelessly to rebuild the once great tower, breathing new life into its empty halls. And from humble beginnings, through hard work and dedication, you unlock the secret through which true greatness may be achieved. Vanquish your enemies, conquer their places of power, reap the ultimate prize.
Now for the interesting part.
The whole world is at stake.
It's the Heroes of Might and Magic like. Or Age of Wonders if you want. I was completely baffled by this. Yeah, they just decided, okay, let's let's make it an Age of Wonders clone. Oh well, clone is maybe a bit rude to say that right now, but to change the Spellforce from real-time strategy and RPG elements, which was always its unique selling point, to use a horrible word, And its outstanding feature was the genre mix. And now they put it in a turn-based kingdom builder. Question 1, can that work? Question 2, who do they want to sell that to? The Spellforce crowd? No. The Heroes of Might and Magic crowd? They are okay with the third game still. So I don't really know why they are doing this. But I certainly was surprised by it. You're not falling for this one again. When Spellforce 1 came out, you thought it was neat and wanted to play it, but you never played it much. Did the same for 2 and 3. Ah. Yeah, why? Why? Maybe they were not sure that the numbers were okay for Spellforce 3. I think it was a big success in the whole European area that seems to be addicted to games like Spellforce. I mean, it's a niche in a niche, right? But there it is. Spellforce is getting a turn-based kingdom management game. That was surprising. That was actually really surprising. The fact that there's another Battle Royale game, I couldn't care less. Also, Warhammer 40k Darktide, yeah, okay, it's Vermintide, but in space, so I wasn't really blown away by that. But this was really something. It sold really well. Yeah, it got like two expansions, right? I think. And now, this is the that's the action trailer. That's not what I want. Marvel's Midnight Suns. Right? We talked about that earlier. Standalone expansions. All right, okay. Marvel's Midnight Suns. And I will get to the point where there is actually gameplay to see.
Now, last year...
No, it's just action trailers. I thought there was more gameplay. But that was one of the bigger announcements where I thought, yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's see. I must have watched the... Is this the one? Oh yeah, I think this is the one that I wanted to show. Where we see actual gameplay. I didn't want to see the how do you call it? The action footage. I don't get anything out of that. So here's the gameplay walkthrough. We're not going to see all 6 minutes, but we're going to have a look at it real quick. The big money we talked about earlier.
Gaming's greatest strategy and tactics experts have teamed up with the world's greatest storytellers to create a new AAA experience.
And that is totally not an overstatement of any sort, right? They are full of themselves, and it's enough for a whole. It's a whole party. I mean, popular, successful. I would go with that, but greatest? Jesus. But yeah, Marvel and Firaxis.
Experience unlike anything before it.
Yes.
Welcome to Marvel's Midnight Suns. This new tactical RPG from Firaxis is set in the darker side of the Marvel Universe, packed with...
That's the first point that I want to emphasize. Excelsior! The undefeated, the ever impressive. The darker side of the Marvel Universe. That's the first, the darker side of the Marvel Universe. The first 8 words in this 40 seconds that make sense. To stop for a second there and say, ah, ooh. Because we haven't seen lots of that, right? There was Nicolas Cage and the Chains. We don't talk about that.
The deeply customizable tactical battle system that rewards clever thinking with superhero flair. An epic, supernatural story that brings you face to face against the demonic forces of the underworld. A deep role-playing experience where you get to live.
So whoever made the trailer and whoever made the text for the trailer, they didn't talk to each other. It's like, when I say the deep role-playing experience, what do we want to show then? Oh, where, you know, Doctor Strange and Captain Marvel hang out and read books on a sofa or surf some apps on their phone. Deep role-playing experience. Chilling out on the sofa. It's like, yeah, sure. Whatever.
Live among Marvel legends and the first customizable original hero from the Marvel Universe. As darkness falls.
That's another important point, I think. You're not playing with all the only with all the superheroes.
Rise up with the Midnight Suns and face off against an ancient prophecy.
You can build your own.
The end of the world. After centuries of sleep, Lilith, Mother of Demons, has been revived by Hydra through a twist of dark magic and science.
Let's not explain the plot. That's gonna hurt the game too much. I'm gonna fast forward here.
Offer a vast array of tactical choices that...
So, we see here... Let me scroll back a bit.
These abilities offer a vast array of tactical...
So, that looks cool, right? The abilities are displayed as cards. That's, you know, en vogue, as the French say, probably. It's modern to do it with cards. It's okay. I don't mind at all. It's also cards, and that's for all those who say cards are bullshit. Cards are a good way to display a lot of information in a condensed yet easily decipherable fashion. Most of the time, if the cards are made well. So that's going to be important, that the information on the cards is readable, right? And then we can see there is range, area, targeting, as we would expect from a game like this. And I think this alone shows that it could be a fun thing. If you imagine all the superhero powers plus the evil guy's powers, and then you get a playing field where you can go crazy with all that. It has a lot of potential.
Tactical choices that expand exponentially when combined with the battlefield itself. Shove, leap, and smash your way to victory using the environment to wreak havoc on your enemies.
You can't say smash and show Wolverine, right? I mean, seriously, they should hire me to direct their trailers.
Send the bad guys face first into a wall, into each other, or just right over the edge. Victory requires a balance of smart tactical thinking and being able to read and react off the battlefield, as well as cultivating your friend.
Now we can also mute him. Trailer voice, right? A bit annoying. There seem to be many interactions between the NPCs or the player characters and the environment, which is really cool. I like that. I also think it looks rather decent. Very Marvel. Now we come back to the deep storytelling RPG experience where we hang out and change costumes. That could totally destroy this game if that is all complete bollocks. And that was a loot box, wasn't it? So yeah, there are some bits and pieces here that I can see in the trailer that have not been explained too much, where I think, it's, you know, they have to make this stretch between speaking to the XCOM crowd, the Tactics fans, and also the Marvel fans, and trying to get that all into one big bowl of soup is not going to be easy to get right. But nevertheless, I'm very much looking forward to this. We had a bit of an oversaturation of Marvel things in the world of movies. As far as games are concerned, not so much, right? I still am crying tears of sadness because Marvel Heroes and later, what was it called in the end? Ultimate? Or some Omega was shut down. I loved that. Omega, yeah, that was the one. I really liked that. And apart from that, I haven't really played any big Marvel games. But of course, the films and series have been all over the place for more than a decade now, right? So I get that there's not a lot of excitement for Marvel as such. So you would probably be better off playing and wanting XCOM 3, right? But yeah, I for one am happy that I can get a look at this. Probably not for the €60 price tag. All things fair and square, I would probably not pay that much for it. But we'll see if there will be a bigger discount soonish after the release. And the plan is to release it 7th October this year. So it's going to be available. It's not going to be in early access for 8 years and then we're not sure if it's ever going to happen. The Laundry could make a fun game. Hey, you could make one of those exciting simulator games that are coming out of the ground like weeds these days. There's a power wash simulator already, so you could make a hanging up the slightly damp laundry simulator. You can also make a DLC doing that outside to save the environment. And yeah, something like that. The laundry files. No. Should I? Sounds a bit like I should. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Oh, it's Charles Stross. Ah. Ooh. I think it has been recommended, but I haven't read those. Charles Stross is a good name. Yeah. What was the first thing I read? I'm just going through the books. Halting State? I think Halting State is the first thing I read. And the first Laundry Files were 2004 and 2006, and Halting State was 2007. Halting State is standalone though. And then Rule 34 as a follow-up. Glasshouse is supposed to be good as well, but yeah. Yeah, Halting State is really worth it. That should probably also be interesting to you. Cool. Yeah, I'll have a look at that. Maybe I don't have a book list for the rest of the year. I'm still reading the last bit of the Foundation books by Asimov, because I've never read past the 3rd one, and now I'm in the 6th, which is a prequel. Rather interesting, actually. Really interesting to read still. So Marvel's Midnight Suns, I'm really looking forward to that. And it did come a bit as a surprise, to me at least, that the XCOM guys got that big fat Marvel fish. But then again, XCOM, the XCOM series is very popular, very successful, so it does sort of make sense if Marvel wanted a strategy game to get it out there in their hands and not in someone's random hands. Okay. So let's see if I have anything more that I found super interesting. Well, I guess everybody saw Callisto Protocol already. The super gruesome follow-up, not direct follow-up, but heavily inspired by Dead Space. Oh yeah, on a side note, the following games have gotten updates and are still being developed, which is awesome. Potioncraft, the alchemy simulator with its very own art style, and a bit of a bare-bonesy gameplay in the current version. That got patched and is still being developed, and they have bigger plans. So it's worth to keep an eye on the development if you already have the game or are looking forward to getting it. They are moving forward. Core Keeper is something we looked at as a demo, which was very promising, and they have plans for single and multiplayer gameplay, and they are improving their current version. Maho Kenshi, the very stylish, very nice to play mix of exploring a hex-based fantasy world based on the Chinese mythology, where you do card battling in a different way, in a different fashion, like a looks a bit like King's Bounty or Heroes of Might and Magic from the top-down perspective, but tile-based movement, and you have a deck of cards that is used for movement and combat. And there are some really cool interactions that we saw in the demo on stream here. Northgard is getting Northgard, right? That old thing is getting an expansion, I think, or a continuation of the campaign. So, meanwhile, it was mostly being played still as a PvP game. Northgard is a survival RTS builder mix that plays really nice, but is very tough, and therefore it didn't attract a huge amount of people, but it has a fan base, and the campaign game is getting an expansion, which is really cool. War Tales is still being developed. Same developer, Shio Games. They are busy. They are doing, I think that's what they're called. Just have to check that. Shio, right? Shiro Games. So Northgard is getting a campaign expansion. That's unexpected, if anything, and a really good bit of news I found. Something where I found out which made me laugh is Icarus gets a free DLC. And I was like, what? Icarus? Isn't that the early access game with all the bugs and the cool weather effects? Apparently it's not in early access anymore. It's a fully released game, and it gets a free DLC, aka we are still continuing the development of this because it's not finished yet. Fair enough. I thought the idea of a real-time based survival game was pretty good. I have not played it myself. And I heard very mixed things about it, but I still think the idea is great. So you basically pick your duration for your playthrough when you start a new one, and you can tell it to last for a week or a month in real time. And then every time you play, things happen in real time. So I'm not really sure. The Phoenix Point way. Oh, we are fully released, but here's a free DLC. Yes, yeah. So yeah, Icarus, I don't know. It's not something I'm too excited about, but I would totally check it out if I would get a review key, which I haven't. So fingers crossed. I would actually be interested in seeing it myself. But yeah, I think that that wraps it up. That was everything I could grab that was deserving my attention, and I really wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe you found out about a game or two that you haven't heard about before, or maybe got some news that you didn't expect, like yesterday when someone on stream said, oh, did you know that Fallen Earth is now available again as a free-to-play game? I'm downloading it currently. I also read earlier that the servers are down and nobody knows exactly why. So we'll see about that. But if all things go well, I will have a look at the Fallen Earth free-to-play version on Wednesday. Yes, absolutely. No, guys, we're totally not in early access anymore. You can absolutely buy our fully developed game. We can't be held responsible for any bugs you might encounter. But yeah, Fallen Earth is available. It's called Fallen Earth Classic. You can download it and maybe, probably, hopefully also play it. And I'll have a look on Wednesday as the second part of the series free-to-play check. I started with Warframe to find out, is the game actually free-to-play? Is it fun? Is it accessible for a new player? That's what we're going to test. And the second game where we are testing it in is Fallen Earth, which is a game I played way back when. It was ages ago. I can't even remember when it was. Must have been 1925 or something. So that's going to happen on Wednesday, most probably.